One of the biggest objections I hear from moms all the time about doing the things you want to be doing, why you can't start a business, why you can't exercise or do things for yourself, or whatever the case may be, has to do with time. And what's really funny is it is about 10:45 in the middle of the work week. I have already been to the gym. I've got my coffee. I set up a couple things on my computer. So I've worked about 30 minutes so far today. Spent the morning with my kids, made them breakfast, was able to take them to school. Now I'm out on a post muscle workout lifting walk. And I was on my phone and listening to a podcast and scrolled and saw a message from a fellow mom entrepreneur who just recently enrolled herself in voice and guitar lessons. And my first thought was like, wow, how do you have time to do that? So I still do it myself. I have created time to go to the gym, to go for a walk, to take care of my body. And still my reaction when seeing that this other person is taking up a hobby for themselves was, how did you have time for that? I don't know if this is a woman thing or what, but we are going to talk more about this in today's episode. What's up? My name is Lauren Golden. I'm the founder of the Free Mama movement. And don't worry, this is not another productivity video. I have some of those. I'm big on productivity, especially as a business owner with 3 young kids. Sometimes you got to get your ish together to make sure you can actually, follow through on all of your responsibilities. But today I want to talk more about time, and specifically not how to be busy and do more things and accomplish more things, but instead I want to help you create time to do the things that you love, to do the things that you want to do. And a lot of times this actually looks like slowing down, not speeding up. The truth is, it's easy to feel like we never have enough time, regardless of what your current days look like. I think that's part of the human experience, especially in this world of instant gratification, convenience culture. Everybody's moving faster than ever before and doing more than ever before. And more than that, we can see what everybody else is doing because of the internet and social media. And the truth is, though, that we do have more time than we think to create these little outlets for ourselves if we choose to use it wisely. So if the beginning of this video made you frustrated that I have time to go for a walk or go to the gym in the middle of the day, or even just the fact that I get to take my kids to school, which, spoiler, 8 years ago, that's why I started my own freelancing business, was with that exact goal in mind. Or if you kind of rolled your eyes at my friend who's able to take voice and guitar lessons on top of also having 3 kids, traveling for work, and being an entrepreneur, then this is for you. I've got 3 tips for you. The first is, I want you to figure out what it is that you actually want to do and find a way to make it happen. I think it's really interesting that a lot of times, including my reaction this morning on my walk, was, well, I don't have time for that. That's a really poor attitude to approach any situation. Just like I would teach my freelancing students, we don't say like, I can't afford that. It's, well, how can I afford that if it's something I really want? If there's something in your life you really want to do, you want to be able to go to the gym during the day, or you want to take guitar lessons, or you want to take that trip, it starts by slowing down in order to speed up in the future. We have to actually stop, take pause and inventory and ask ourselves, what needs to happen for this to become my reality? Do I need to budget money to make it happen? Do I need to block the time on my calendar and communicate that to other people? Do I need to make sure I have childcare during this particular time or season of my life to make sure that I can actually go do these things? I think the first thing is, though, we have to slow down and ask the right questions, which, instead of writing it off of, I can't do this, it's, how can I make this thing happen? And then slowly start chipping away at those to-dos. And I think you'll find that if it's in alignment with your values and your priorities, so if you love music, if you love taking care of yourself and movement, you will see that those things are in alignment and you will then want to do that. Now, one caveat that I learned this when I read The Values Factor. I love that book. It really changed the way I think about stuff. It said, for example, like your value could be your family, but maybe a way that you show your value for your family is by working 60 hours a week. Because for you, the way you show your family that you love them is by providing for them financially. Sometimes it requires a little bit of a reframe if we want to get a different desired outcome with how we're spending our time. So if you don't want to be working 60 hours a week, but you've created this attachment to security and your value of family, we have to realign that with maybe the way that you show your family that you value them is by spending one-on-one time with each of your kids for 15 minutes every day. You can set a timer. Again, it's not, I don't have time to make this happen. It's how do I make this happen? Now, I've got 3 kids. This is actually something we do in our family. That's 45 minutes a day. If I don't have 45 minutes a day for my family, and I say that my children are part of my values and my priorities in my life, then we've got bigger problems. So again, tip number 1, slow down, figure out what it is that you want, and then find a way to make it happen. My second tip for creating time for the things that you really want to be doing in your life is to eliminate. We live in this culture that says more is more, and you have to want more and more and more. And I have really learned over the last few years that less is so much more. And I show this in every aspect of my life. I don't like a lot of stuff or clutter. So we're constantly purging and trying to become more and more minimalist. I express this in the activities that we let our kids do. And this is hard because especially where I live in middle America, suburbia, every kid is doing like 40 activities and every mom is like a soccer mom driving around every day after school. I choose for that not to be my life. And I don't want my kids to feel that pressure either. So we limit the number of activities that our kids can do. I limit the goals that I set for myself, not in life, but the ones that I'm pursuing at any given time. For me, the way I can be doing more of what I want to be doing is by stop trying to pack it in, by stop thinking that I got to get all these 500 things done every single day and I've got to accomplish all these goals. And it's actually about looking at which one of these things is most important to me and how can I laser focus on that and do a few things every day that shifts the needle forward. I see a lot of free mamas, especially in the free mama Facebook group. If you're not already in there, you should definitely come join us. And I'll see people post about this pressure of like, I have to do all of these things. Like I'm not moving fast enough. And for me, this tip is exactly what I want to say to them. You need to eliminate the things that you're doing, not add to your plate. There's always going to be more of this constant push in our culture to do more things. There's always going to be more work to do. There's always going to be another DM or another message or another prospect or another email that you feel like you have to get to. But without creating these boundaries of what actually we want to prioritize and how we want to spend our time and energy, it ends up controlling us. And then we just feel chaos and pressure and like we don't actually have the ability to do what we want to be doing. Speaking of boundaries, my third tip has to do with blocking access to you. And this might sound a little bit harsh, but we are just in an over-connected time in history. And if you don't have any say in when and how people have access to you, you are going to feel like other people are running your life. Whether this is getting social media off your phone, turning on do not disturb notifications, only checking your email once or twice a day, giving yourself inside of your calendar a day where nobody can schedule a call with you, or taking a 3-day weekend, or taking a day off in the middle of the week every week, where it's just, that's the boundary. What I found is that we will fill the container. And if our container has doors wide open and it's accessible anytime, then you will always fill it with something to do. You will always find more work to come in. There will always be someone wanting to get a hold of you, wanting something from you, asking you for something, asking for your help, or purely just posting content on the internet that then can take you down this rabbit hole of distraction. If you want to make sure that you have more time to create time in your life for the things that you actually want to be doing, you need some sort of boundary or blocking access to you so that you're not constantly being delivered messages about other people or actually being contacted by other people and feeling like when they say jump, you have to say how high. If you don't gain control of your schedule, then I promise you, it'll just stay full and you will always feel busy. Speaking of busy, I am a recovering human doing instead of a human being. Okay. We are not designed to be producers all of the time, all day, every day. We are human beings. And something that's really changed my life the last few years is actually prioritizing free time. Now, free time used to make my brain want to explode. I felt like I was just worthless and slacking off and not doing a good job if I wasn't always doing something that felt productive. I had to be doing the laundry, or I had to be tidying something up, or I had to be, producing something in my business, or I had to be active with my children. And what I've really learned is that the more I prioritize free time, like my walk this morning, and things that bring me satisfaction and peace and joy and fulfillment, the more I actually feel like a whole person. It's amazing how much of the other stuff, all the noise, all the doing, it really just doesn't matter. It's just not that important. So I challenge you to think about, what can you set down? What can you eliminate? Can you be still with yourself and give yourself that peace and fulfillment that you probably think is going to come at the end of all of the doing and achieving? But unfortunately, in my experience, that has not been the case. It's actually through the slowing down, the getting rid of, the shedding the expectations, the resisting the need to apply more pressure or pushing, and the being with myself, being with my family, being okay with not doing all of the time, that has made me the happiest, both in my personal life, but also inside of my business as well. Now, I want you to talk to me. I want you to leave me a message down in the comments below. How does this sit with you? How does this sound? What do you wish that you had more time for that you don't? And can I help you work that into your life? Again, this is not a productivity video. This is a how do you get what you need out of life video. And it does have to do with how you choose to spend your time, because we actually have a lot more time, most of us, than we think. We overestimate how long we work on certain things, and we spend a lot of time these days just being distracted. And if you could spend that time pouring into yourself in a positive way that made you just really come alive and feel like you were living life, I think that you would be happier too.